Hello and welcome to Interview Friday. This is Joel Marshall. This is Lunch Therapy. Lunch Therapy is a show where you take a break from the crap that's going on in the world. On Fridays, we interview people. Today, we've got a great guest, Bonita Joy Yoder. She is a ventriloquist, a recovering lawyer. There's a hummingbird up there, 2 hummingbirds. So I'm really excited to have her on the show. She's also a motivational speaker, a keynote speaker, somebody that does comedy, knows the arts of comedy. So really happy to have her on there. Boy, Camila Lopez is here. Puppets. Yeah, we haven't had puppets on this show since, I think, Mallory Lewis with Lamb Chops. So really excited to have that. Got a few announcements about some stuff going on around town. We have, there's some penguins behind me. We have some events happening on this show. We like to talk about things that are going on in the world that you can see live, because live comedy is the best comedy. And we've got Ginny Sykes is doing an event. Boney, can we put that up on the screen? Jimmy Shindig at the Ice House. That's on the 30th, Saturday. Check it out. Jamie Kennedy, Tom Arnold, Jimmy Shin, Lindsay Loon. Lots of great people in that show. So if you're looking for a place to laugh, place to get away from all the news cycle stuff, well, I don't know. They might talk about the news there. Who knows? But I don't think so. Get in there and the Ice House. I promise there won't be any ICE agents there, hopefully. Also, Dean Lewis is going to be the guest next Friday, and he's got a 30-day joke writing workshop if anybody wants to write 90 jokes, 90 new jokes. Starts September 1st. You can email him at dean@deanlewiscomedy.com. There'll be more on that next week. A lot of times comedians, the biggest challenge is to write jokes as fast as you possibly can for every possible scenario. And people like Dean Lewis can help you out with that. So let's get on with this. Very excited. We're going to have puppets on the show today. I love puppets. Very excited. Patreons. I want to say thank you to all the Patreons. These are our Patreons. Behind me are some water buffaloes to celebrate your patronage. This is the way we do it. This is the way live shows are done. They're done in a very buffalo-ish fashion. And we have Patreons that help support us. So you can go to patreon.com/joelmarshall. Sign up to be a Patreon. Give $5. It goes a long way. These shows don't cost that much money, but they do cost money. And on Tuesdays, our show, we give away some money. So we give back to the community. Let's breathe. This is part of the show where we breathe. We take the time to take 3 deep breaths. This is healing vibrations. It's a good place to breathe. He's talking about dopamine today. We get all this dopamine from looking at our social media, from, I don't know, jumping off cliffs and into water and things like that. I don't know where we get all this stuff, but it's like we're always chasing the dopamine. Maybe it's time to chill, relax, stop chasing all that adrenaline and breathe. Social media, processed food, binge shopping can cause an imbalance, he says. All right, in through the nose, out through the toes. We're breathing. Hold it. Let it go. Matt Wright says there's an alternate universe where instead of Seinfeld, we got a show called Ginny featuring a handsome but wacky neighbor known as Marshall. Known only as Marshall. I like it. Get that show going. It could happen in an actual universe, perhaps. That's Perseus behind me. The cat. In through the nose, out through the toes. Hold it. Let it go. On the internet that are not pushing us towards hate, pushing us towards being reactionary, pushing our dopamine buttons. And this is one of them, Healing Vibrations. You can go there anytime and just chill. In through the nose, out through the toes. Hold it. Let it go. Here's a little teaser for our guest that's coming on.
Hey, ducks. I don't bite.
Our guest puppets don't bite. It's cool. We like ducks on the show. We like all animals.
You do.
I do, at least. Big animal people here. Apparently those puppets are animal puppets too. My cats are not cat people. That's kind of weird. They hate cats. I don't know if y'all have that experience. Where you're like, come on, I like cats. And the other cats are like, I can't stand cats. Get these cats out of here. This is Aki Ra, Sunrise. He is the master of the hand pan in Japan. The Japan hand pan. This is just to help you out here with your going into the 3-day weekend. It's Labor Day weekend. That's where we celebrate people that put in labor. Maybe even women who are in labor. I think we could celebrate them too. Ideally, these people that work so hard throughout the year get a break on this weekend. But all too many of us have to work on Labor Day. It sucks. It should be a crime, right? I don't know. Anybody out there in the chat world ever work on Labor Day? I have. And I will be. This Monday I'll be working. What's the point, right? All right, Akira. Thanks for launching us into the interview. Here we go. We're going under. We're going under into the water, into the waters of ventriloquism, into the waters of ditching your lawyer job to spread joy to people, easing out of the law profession into the puppet profession. Bonita Joy Yoder is one of these people who is brave enough to venture into the world of ventriloquism. She's a multi-talented professional. She's been a lawyer. She's been a real estate person. She wrote a book on real estate, and it was about spiritualism in real estate, which I don't understand how that works, but it sounds good to me. She's known as the humor alchemist. Yeah. Took her 25 years of law practice and real estate investing to become the humor alchemist, which is true about a lot of comedians. If you have life experience, it's a great way to draw comedy and commonality with people, with your audience. She also performs magic. She's a contributor to 4 collaborative books and the author of a forthcoming book that applies ventriloquism as a metaphor for business and life. She also is a speaker. She's an MC, a keynote speaker. She brings her puppets right along. She's also somebody that we can really learn about from, and we can learn about something called edutaining, which I'm big on. I think people, we've got a lot of teachers. We have a lot of teachers that have come on this show that are also comedians. And we see how education and entertainment, put it together. You put it, same thing, entertainment and business, you put it together and you get a lot more powerful magic. So let's get into the magic. Matt Wright digs sock puppets. I do too. I love sock puppets.
You ever watch the funny Super Bowl commercial? Money. And I'm not being the class clown. I'm talking about using humor strategically. The Stanford School of Business offers a graduate course in humor in business because it's that serious of a marketing and sales tool. Well, Sarah Blakely was trying to get Spanx off the ground as a business. She was having trouble getting meetings with retail buyers. What'd she do? She bought a whole bunch of boxes of shoes, took the lids off, took one shoe out of each box, wrote a bunch of handwritten notes saying, "I've been trying to get my foot in the door with you." And guess what? She got an appointment with the retail buyer for Neiman Marcus. In a company culture, humor can help boost morale. It can help with resilience, having a positive perspective, and so much more. What if you weren't funny? Oh, over here. Oh, hey. What if you weren't born with a funny bone? Like I said, you don't have to be a comedian. You don't even necessarily have to be funny yourself. You don't? No, it's just looking at things funny. I can do that. Yeah. You just pay attention to the things that happen during the day that are humorous. Oh, really? Yes, that helps you develop your humor muscle. It helps you have a humorous mindset. You think I could do that? I think you could, Susie. So how could a company use humor? How well can a company do that? So many ways. You could also have a dash of humor challenge. Yeah? And everybody could note the funniest thing that happens during the day with an employee or a prospect or whatever. And you could share it in a group forum. And then the person who has the most funny incidents that they report during a month could be the humorist of the month. That sounds fun. That's the whole idea. And, oh, just saying, if you're dating, prospective partners like a good sense of humor too.
All right, Bonita Joy Yoder. It's great having you on the show. So wonderful.
Thank you. Nice to be here. And who knows who else might show up.
Yeah. You were a lawyer and you suddenly said,
"He's a liar."
"Oh my God, a liar."
I saw myself just now. Yeah, you were. You were on the screen.
That was
So
you.
I had to come in person. I see.
Oh, it's so
She's
good
a
to see you.
liar.
What
Not
is
a
you?
liar.
Is that polite to call her a liar?
I
Or
didn't claim to be polite. Susie, it's not a liar, it's a lawyer. What's the difference?
it's an easy mistake to make. What is your name?
Susie! Yes, this is Susie.
Susie. Wow. So good
I
to
was
see you.
just in that video.
Yeah, that was you. I recognize you. I mean, you look smaller in person.
Well, appearances can be deceiving.
They certainly can. They certainly can. How when did you meet Bonita?
About a year ago.
Oh, you've only known each other for a year? Wow.
Yes, yes.
You seem close.
About 6 inches.
Yeah, I think so. So, are puppets more able to say the truth than regular people?
I think they can.
Yeah.
Well, of course, it depends on the person, and it depends on the puppet.
Oh,
Why don't you bring Ruby out? Okay, I'll
let's see
bring another
Ruby.
one out. Bye for now.
Bye.
uh, it, puppets get by with saying anything, and I say it's not fair because I have to be held responsible for what I say,
Yeah.
but not the puppets. Oh yeah, I can say anything I want. And the funny thing is, people don't attribute it to the puppet. They attribute it to me. In fact, there was this one ventriloquist who told a story. He was working in a club,
Mhm.
and this audience member got really mad at his puppet. And he went up and he was about ready to punch the puppet.
Ah, so they don't attribute it to you. They attribute it to the puppet.
Right, exactly. Which is
Ah,
why I love using puppets in emceeing because something happens in the space, you could react spontaneously. But Ruby, for example, can get by with saying things that I can't. And it could be funny when she says it, or not, but truthful. And I'm sure you've heard that saying in comedy that truth is often funnier than anything we can make up. Yeah.
true. Do you
And,
are your puppets sometimes representing your inner thoughts?
you know, it's like they have a mind of their own. I do. And a heart, yes. Sometimes I'm hearing what comes out of their mouths along with the audience or listener. It's hard to explain, but that's when I know I'm in the flow with a puppet because it's like, oh, I didn't know you were going to say that. And I'm sure you've heard of Jean Houston, or some of your listeners have. She's into humanism. She's like a best-selling author. She's
Let me
written a
see.
number of books.
Oh,
And one time I heard her speak. This was years ago. I mean, it might have been 20 years ago. Yeah, there she is. And she was telling a story about her father, who was a scriptwriter for Charlie McCarthy and Edgar Bergen.
oh wow.
And one time, she was about 4, she went with her father to deliver the script to Edgar Bergen. And they got to his hotel room, the door was ajar, and they saw through the crack in the door. The door was ajar? No, it means it was open. Oh,
Oh,
okay. Yeah,
it
so
can be
they saw,
confusing.
yeah, right. They saw through the crack in the door. Edgar was having a conversation with Charlie in front of the dresser mirror. And it wasn't scripted. They were just conversing. And that image stayed with her. I don't remember the point of the story, but afterwards, during her book signing, I told her I was a ventriloquist. And she said, and I believe her background was in psychology, something related. And she said, you can use your puppets to access your inner, like the inner recesses of your psyche. That may not have been the exact word she used, but it was that idea, and sometimes it's just interesting to pick up. Like I might see a puppet somewhere at a ventriloquist convention and it calls to me and I might just pick the puppet up. I think I got Ruby at a magician's convention once, but
Oh, really?
a woman made puppets. I don't make my own. People always ask me that. I'm the kind of the front person, not the behind the scenes with that.
Cool.
And I'll pick them up and just have a conversation with them to see if we resonate with each other. And sometimes a puppet and I will hit it off immediately, and a name will come to me. If you want to know, I don't think I've ever said this, but if one of the ways that names often comes to me for a puppet is if somebody says to the puppet, "What's your name?"
Yeah.
And then a name comes out of their mouth because I could spend a lot of time trying to come up with a name. And you can do this thing, and Jeff Dunham has done this where he created a new ventriloquial figure, and then he trademarks the name. Sometimes he put this figure on a video or whatever on his YouTube and had people vote, or not vote, but come up with names. What
Hmm.
names? And then there was a prize for the name that he picked.
Yeah.
And but I find for me to actually have the puppet in hand and somebody talk to that personality, a name will just pop out because oftentimes if you don't introduce the puppet and you're one-on-one, they'll ask what's your name. Like you might ask
Yeah.
a child what's your name or whatever, and then something comes out, and I usually stay with it.
Do you think that improvisation has an element of tapping into your subconscious when you're doing it the best?
You know, I think so. I hadn't actually thought about it in those words before, but yes, and I've done some improv. Although I certainly think puppets could tap into your
Well, you've done a
subconscious.
ton of improv because you're always talking to a puppet. That's
Well, yeah,
improvisation
right, right,
with your
right.
hand.
And I actually like the improvisational part almost better than the scripted part. I mean, I have
Yeah.
certain routines that are planned and scripted, but I love playing off of things that happen in the audience, and that's what I like about emceeing and having a puppet as a co-MC because uh, it's not as scripted, right? You may have the introduction or the bio of a person, but an MC can really play off of what's happening and make stuff up.
True about stand-up comedy too, that a lot of times you're having a conversation by yourself. And so that makes it kind of difficult sometimes because you're not being prompted by people unless you're doing crowd work. And I think this
Yeah,
is why comedians like crowd work is because they get prompts from the audience. But when you're just doing straight up stand-up comedy, you're prompting yourself.
right.
And so having a puppet with you seems like that must be very helpful.
Yeah. I thought prompts were the chat GPT.
Oh,
I
do
didn't
you
know
do
that's
Chat
what that.
GPT? Really?
Humor intelligence.
Do you write jokes for Bonita ever?
Sometimes on the spur of the moment. Yes, if I'm in front of people and a puppet says something, I well, that's why I like to record because sometimes it's hard to remember later what they said in the ad libs. But a lot of times the ad libs are the best part,
Yeah,
and so I try to remember that later. And yes, I write jokes for her
of course you do.
unintentionally.
Unintentionally. Do you
Yeah,
get Chat GPT to write jokes for her anytime?
I've actually tried that,
Yeah.
and I think I think AI has a ways to go with humor still,
Yeah, I think so too.
or maybe it's that it's a different sense of humor than mine. I was
Yeah.
telling somebody, it's like, I don't think artificial intelligence has really got the humor thing down. And somebody said, well, maybe you need to create a bot where you record yourself and upload it and let it watch all your different performances and find out and your style of humor. Now, I've not done that, but I do know people who are really into it, have created digital clones and all that. A clone of my finger? I could use a fifth finger.
Yeah, you
A,
could, but puppets
a
generally only
digital
have
clone.
four, right? Puppets
Yeah,
usually, yeah. Puppets in
that's not the kind
cartoon
of digital clone
characters.
I was talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think also ChatGPT is good at prompting you sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
And sometimes it's like, I don't like that, but it gives you an idea of
Yeah.
something that would be better, a contrast or whatever. Now, I've got a question for you. Somebody
Hmm.
said several days ago to me that they thought performers were generally awkward in everyday life.
That's some of them are for sure. You,
Yeah,
you
some
know,
are.
before going on stage, if you're doing a show with people you don't know, like if you're doing a stand-up comedy special or something, or like a showcase, it's very awkward in the green room. People are kind of not talking to each other, or when they do, it's sort of like stilted and talking over each other. And I think that it's true. A lot of performers are shy and awkward.
Yeah, it's interesting. I had never thought of that, but this person said that, and they cited Robin Williams as an example, who was
Yeah.
brilliant comedic timing and comedian, and said, but he was a little awkward personally. And I thought, huh. And they said, it seems to go with performers. Now, I have known comedians who are sad or depressed
Oh yeah.
a lot, and that's when I first ran into that years ago. I thought, well, how can that be? You know,
Yeah.
that it's a comedian, and there are comedians who have taken their lives, and
Yep.
that I just find that fascinating
It really
that you
is.
bring that humor and fun to people, and then there's that level of depression or whatever. Do you
But
run into
there
that very?
are a lot of lawyers who are depressed, right?
Lawyers are supposedly the third most depressed profession.
What's
You've
the
got
first?
dentists,
Yeah.
veterinarians, and the thing with lawyers, I suppose with dentists, people don't want you sticking your,
Yeah.
whatever, messing with your teeth.
Messing with your teeth.
That hurts.
You don't
That's
have
like
any teeth,
tryptophan.
do you? Do you have teeth?
He's awful personal.
Sorry about that. But yeah, I
No.
think that that's true. I think there's a lot of pain that people associate with dentistry, and so then you're the person that represents that, and so people get hostile
So
sometimes.
I asked the dentist about that once, and he
Yeah,
said, well, they have access to like laughing gas and things that they can use themselves. And I suppose as a veterinarian, I haven't asked one, but I would imagine you're putting animals to sleep and you love animals. And
that would be hard.
yeah.
Yeah,
And for lawyers, well, I can speak for me personally. It's an adversarialness of the system of trying to
mm,
get even, revenge, whatever, the way it's built in, and the tediousness of it, and the overwork and the stress. And then lawyers, they get a bad rap. I mean, when you need a lawyer, you want a good lawyer, and you want a
yeah,
barracuda, a lot of people. But at the same time, then they're the used car salesman, right?
yeah.
And it's but it's an adversarial thing. And I have found that a lot of lawyers, about 15 years into the practice, are like done with it. They're burned out, but they don't know what else to do,
And what was
and
that moment for you? Was there a moment where you were like, I got to get out of this?
it was a process for me where I felt like if I don't leave, I'm going to get sick or die. It was just a thought I had one day,
Mm.
but I didn't leave right away. I mean, it was a process of it. It might have been 5, 10 years. I don't know. But there was something that happened as a young lawyer that planted a seed. I was in a divorce courtroom and
Hmm.
I'm in my polyester blue pantsuit. Polyester queen, yeah. And the evidence was all in, and the judge, he had this habit of, his last name was King. I can say that. He's no longer with us. But
Okay.
a king who's a judge who's a king. Well,
Yeah.
kings, different people have different thoughts about kings these days. They do, they do.
No kings.
Yeah. So he would have his eyes closed, and you'd think he was asleep. But I discovered that he was really listening deeply when his eyes were closed, right? It was like
Mm.
he didn't have that outer distraction. And like I know the psychologist one time he said, I can see better with my eyes closed. That's an interesting thought. Well,
Yeah.
anyway, we're waiting for the verdict, and my client's like holding her breath, and I'm, we're all feeling a little bit of anxiety, probably on both sides. And he leans over. Judge King opens his eyes. He leans over and he says, I feel like I've made a good decision when both parties leave unhappy.
Oh no.
And I'm like, I was like, leave unhappy? I would think they would want to, he'd want to focus on making them both somewhat happy instead of
Yes.
unhappy. But he felt like it was a more fair decision if they were both unhappy. And so just actually about a month ago, I asked the judge, a couple months, I told that story and I said, do you feel that way? And this person said, oh, I would never say that in the courtroom.
Oh, right.
But most of the
Thank you.
judges I know, they
Wow.
would probably agree with that. Like I've heard them say things like, I want to make both of them mad.
Oh my gosh. Well, okay, so here's something positive that you say about gratitude that I want to put out here, because one of the things that you do now is you put out really good messages, and that's one of the reasons people hire you, is because they want to feel better, not worse, like in the divorce scenario.
Right, right. And then,
So let's
you've got people
oh,
crying there.
As
Oh, here.
simple as when something happens, like I was driving to Kansas City one time, one morning, and the sun was rising in the east and got in my eyes, and I wasn't using a GPS because I knew where I was going, I thought. But with the sun in my eyes, I took a wrong turn. And then I started going down the rabbit hole of, oh no, I'm gonna be late. My friend's gonna be upset, and I may take another wrong turn. Caught myself and said out loud, what's three things I'm grateful for? I have a car. I mean, not everybody has a car. The sun is out, and I'm going to see my friend. And that shifted my perspective like that.
I like that. Oh, yes. What is your name?
Thelma.
Thelma.
Thelma. I have another monkey named Louise. I'm going to run for president. President of what? The United States. You can't do that. You're just a puppet. And your point is?
Ah, plenty of puppets have been president. What? You're beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Where did you meet Bonita?
At a ventriloquist convention. You
Yeah.
know, Thelma was made by a company called Axtel
Mm.
in California, and they make a lot of professional puppets. And yeah, we met at a convention. I just thought, and she came dressed like this. I added a
Beautiful.
necklace.
I love it.
Yeah.
How did you learn ventriloquism?
Well, let me say I was first exposed to it. Exposed, and I was
Oh,
about 5. Is that decent? Yes, I was about 5. I was at a family reunion on
This
my
is a
mother's
family
side.
show. So
Yeah,
keep her in line.
family show. It's all relative. Yeah.
That's right.
So, and my mother's side was pretty creative, and we'd have these talent shows. And so, my older brother, cousin, Clinton Detweiler, walked up front with his homemade wooden dummy named Woody. Yeah, wooden dummy named Woody, or ventriloquial figure is the
Do
proper
they
name.
say, yeah, do you say dummy in front of the
No, not
puppets?
in front of them. Not in front of them. And that used to be a huge no-no to use that word. And it was, and then Jeff Dunham started saying, just say dummy. It's okay.
It would be funny
For some
if you said,
people,
this is, you can't be president. You're a dummy. That's another one for
right.
your
That
joke.
works too.
That works too. Anyway,
Yes,
continue.
that
Never
works too.
stopped a lot of
And
people.
right. But Clinton pulls out, takes Woody up, puts
Yeah.
Woody on his lap, on his knee, and they start talking to each other. And my relatives are laughing, and I'm laughing, and I'm like, is Woody real? I mean, he seemed like a real kid, and yet I thought he was a doll, but he was very real, and I couldn't quite, make sense of that. And that imprint stayed with me for years. And when I was 16, I checked out a book from the library, Ventriloquism for Fun and Profit
Yeah.
by
Yeah.
Paul Winchell.
Oh,
I spent hours practicing in front of the mirror while the other kids were playing softball. But actually, my cousin Clinton went on to make ventriloquial figures, and he became very famous in the ventriloquism world. He mentored through mail order through correspondence. He mentored Terry Fader, who did a video tribute, 8 minutes for his audience in Vegas the night of my cousin's memorial service because Terry couldn't get away to go to the service. But um, Clinton made a big impact on a lot of people, but he's not famous publicly, but he is in the ventriloquism world. He's a behind the scenes person.
wow. So it's sort of in the
Creative.
family.
Right. Yeah, and there's a couple of other his daughter-in-law got into it as well as his son, and yeah, there have been some cousins who kind of dabbled. I think I'm currently more into it at this point than any of the other relatives.
Was there a period of time where you didn't do any ventriloquism?
When I was practicing law,
Mhm.
well, I was hired by 2 talent agents in Kansas City because at the time I was going to the University of Kansas School of Law in Lawrence, Kansas. And now I go between Lawrence and Colorado. Uh, Bilocate.
Bilocate. I like it.
And I put the puppets aside for a while and the ventriloquial figures because I was one of 4 women attorneys in town. And at that time, 25% of our class was female. And this was 1978 when I got to law school. And attorneys that were women were kind of a novelty. And I was afraid I wouldn't be taken seriously.
Yeah.
And so I kind of backburnered the puppets for a while, stopped doing paid shows, but I did occasionally bring one out for, something for friends or a smaller event. And as I look back and think about marketing and business and humor, I really squandered an opportunity
Hmm.
because when you use humor,
Yeah.
yeah, they're less defensive, they open their minds, they'll take it in. Plus, even if people had said, "Oh, that crazy puppet lady," they would have remembered me.
Yeah. People remember things like that. And
Uh-huh.
also, humor is probably a good tool in the courtroom, I would think.
Yes.
Did you find yourself
Yes.
using humor in that way when you were a practicing lawyer?
I didn't use it as
As
much
much.
as
Yeah.
I would have. My most common form of humor as a lawyer would have been puns. And puns are a cognitive form of humor. And there's different types of humor, slapstick and corny and blah, blah, blah. Uh,
Yeah.
I think puns tend to be a popular form of humor among attorneys because there's that kind of word double
Language.
meaning thing,
Hmm.
kind of mental.
Yeah.
I would
Do you
use puns.
tailor? So you do keynote speaking, you do motivational speaking, you do speaking for corporations. Do you have to tailor your material to these different groups? And how do you do that usually?
Well, yes. I mean, there's certain common messages I have, but then I
Mhm.
can tailor for a specific group. And something that I'm wanting to work with now, you mentioned socks at the beginning,
Sock
is
puppets.
having a like a breakout workshop with people
Oh,
having
yeah.
socks
Yeah.
and little yarn and pipe cleaners and eyes. I have little bags of things and have them make their
Buttons.
own,
Yeah.
yeah, their own puppet and then practice difficult conversations like role play, break out, have, if you have a coworker or boss or something, that would take the charge out of it to just practice it in with puppets,
Or even
to,
in that conversation with your own self that you have on a daily basis. You know, the conversation where there's somebody, there are thoughts that come into your mind that you don't necessarily want, or you
yeah.
want to like, we talked about this the other day in Judy Carter's workshop, where she was talking about what to do about the hecklers in your head. Because what she
Hmm.
said was the best way to handle a heckler is to agree with them. I think she said that, right? Something like that, like
Uh-huh.
agree with them. And maybe the best way to handle the hecklers in your head is to converse with them in an agreeable manner. Do
But
you?
and
Yeah.
it takes the charge off, and you're more open. And it's interesting. There was a scientist named Dr. Elmer Green who
Mm.
was very famous. He and his wife Elise developed biofeedback at the
Oh,
Menninger Foundation.
yeah,
And he used to say, whenever somebody, he'd tell him something, and he'd say, "That's interesting," and they'd tell him something else, and he'd say, "That's interesting." And I would watch this, and it looked like he was agreeing with them, right?
yeah.
But when I talked to him privately, and I found out he had a contrary opinion about something to what this medical doctor or somebody had, I said, "But I thought you were great." He said, "All I said is that's interesting." But it gives the person the sense that they're being heard and they
Yeah.
feel like, I mean, it was fascinating to watch it. But such a simple,
Well, there's also nothing more frustrating than when you say something and the other person doesn't acknowledge it at all.
right.
And so just the acknowledgement of it is somewhat therapeutic, I think.
Yes. And by the way, there is an organization that uses humor for in therapeutic sense, the
Really?
Association of Applied Therapeutic Humor. And there are
Yes.
people there who are they have an annual conference.
Greg Dean,
And
I
I've
think,
been to a couple
is
of
involved in that.
who?
Greg Dean, the great comedy coach, I think
Oh,
might be involved in that as well.
well, there's some very serious people at
Really?
that conference. It's funny because I went the first time I went, I'm thinking, oh, it's going to be really fun. Like I've
Yeah.
gone to the magicians or clown conference, and ventriloquist conference,
Clown
and there's a lot
conference.
of fun
Wow.
goofy stuff, right?
Yeah.
But these people were serious, very serious,
Yeah.
educators,
It's like a
researchers,
science.
people in the medical field,
Yeah.
science. They take it, yeah, and extremely serious, like the neuroscience of humor. And there's a lot of resources and research out there, including the Mayo Clinic has done one. It studies on humor and the impact. But it was kind of ironic to be at a
That they're
conference
serious.
on humor, very serious.
It's kind of what you were saying about comedians. that a lot of times comedians are depressed and not fun to be around when they're not performing.
Yeah, I would say that about people attending this conference, but it was a very serious
They just take it
focus.
seriously. They take their comedy very seriously, which seems like
Yes,
a juxtaposition.
yes, and academicians and people have written books. Anyway, this is
That's great.
fascinating.
It is fascinating.
Look, a bunch of puppets. No, those aren't puppets. They aren't? No. How come? Because they don't have moving mouths. Oh, that's too bad. Just imagine what they would say if they did.
So, how have your puppets enjoyed working on the internet? Oh, it's applause. Oh,
I get out a lot more since I'm on the internet. Yeah, the
it's so good to see.
pandemic really
Yeah.
helped me to realize the possibility of appearing virtually anywhere in the world, because I would appear in Kenya and Canada and Sri Lanka or I don't know, different places.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize how well a puppet until the pandemic.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how well a puppet head or two even will fit into a screen along with my head.
It's
So
ideal.
it's really helped the reach, expanded my reach. And there's a woman who teaches grant writing who's part connected with a nonprofit association that works with kids in Kenya. And she had me on her podcast and brought me back a second time. And these kids, they dressed in their uniforms and they didn't have computers. So they went to this local community center so they could watch the podcast as a group. And it was sweet. And they asked for us to come back and teach them, talk about sock puppets. But it was, I would have had to fly there, right?
Yeah. That is beautiful. What's this one's name?
Dog.
Dog. That's a very creative name.
D-A-W-G. Yeah.
D-A-W-G. Dog. Where?
Yeah.
Do you have an accent?
Yeah, kind of.
What's it from?
A
What's it
dog
from?
accent.
Oh, a dog accent. Yeah, dogs do have.
Dog is a dog lawyer.
Oh,
Yeah.
he's a lawyer. What kind of
defend
cases?
all those dogs accused of barking too loud, using a fire hydrant, biting someone.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, there's probably a lot of dog litigation out there. It's
And
good
then
that they.
sometimes owners only give them half a treat.
Oh,
They
that's
break
terrible.
it in half and they pretend they're giving the whole treat.
It must be hard to find a jury of your peers if you're a dog.
Well, you got a
Are-
point there.
Do you have to like feed them to keep them in their seats? Yeah. And to keep their attention sometimes. Sometimes dogs are just all over the place. It's better than cats, though. Do you ever defend cats?
Only if I have to.
Do you like cats?
It depends on the cat.
Yeah, they're very different. They have very different personalities. It's true. What about Snoopy? Are you a fan of Snoopy?
Yeah.
You look a little like him. You related?
I don't think so, unless we're distant dog cousins.
You might be part cow because you look a little like a cow. I mean, I don't mean that in a bad way.
He's milking it for all it's
I'm
worth.
really milking it. I don't meet many puppets. So sometimes
Well, that you think of that you don't eat many puppets who admit to being a puppet.
do you think are puppets, oh, it's a Dalmatian. You're a Dalmatian? Is that what you are? Oh, okay. I mistook it for a cow because you had the spots, like the dairy cows. I love your jacket. Is it a shirt or jacket?
It's a shirt.
Do you have a tie on? Oh, because you're a lawyer.
Yes.
Yes, you have to wear a
Yeah.
tie. Do you like wearing
Even has
ties?
a black jacket, but it's not on right now.
Oh, he's in
But
casual
when he
mode.
goes to court, he puts his jacket on. And
That's great. All
yeah, but
right.
the thing about that is, you don't talk to many puppets, and he says,
Yeah,
well, that you know of, because some people don't speak their own voice, right?
it's true.
Or make totally independent decisions, but they would never call themselves a puppet. No,
All
I'm
of us are
proud to
puppets.
be a puppet.
I'm proud to be a puppet too. Can I be a puppet too? Yeah.
I can stick my hand up your back
Oh, well,
and put words in
at
your
least it's
mouth.
up my back because I was afraid of what you're gonna say.
Me too.
Yeah.
But
What
you know
about?
what?
Yeah.
If you were in court, I would put words into your mouth.
Oh, you mean if I was not like on the stand, being as a witness, you would put words in my mouth like a puppet. I don't know if
They
that's
call it a
ethical.
stand that you actually sit.
That is so true. So weird. Why do they do that? I wonder if they.
Oh,
I wonder if
somebody
you
made a
used to
comment.
stand. What?
Oh, somebody made a comment in the
Oh yeah.
chat about
Bonita
my
is
name,
such a
Bonita.
fun-loving person, truly aptly named. Bonita, pretty plus joyful. Oh, that's
That's
beautiful.
true. In Spanish, I'm not Hispanic, but my parents found my name out of a baby book, and Bonita can mean pretty or beautiful. So I think of it as beautiful joy. And my
Love it.
purpose is to help, my vision for the world is for people to remember joy in their everyday circumstances, their daily lives, their relationships, and at work, and especially today. I mean, it's a pretty serious time in the world,
Yes.
right?
Oh my God, yeah. That's why I'm so glad to have you on the show because we need this. We
Yes.
need you.
And we need to remember, to look at the humor side of things. And in fact, I created a humor journal as a gift for people that has
Oh
some
yeah.
prompts
I'll put
to
that in
help
the show
notice that.
notes. I'll put that in the show notes.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
It's at joy.funandfunnier.com.
Yeah, I saw that.
Joy.funandfunnier.com. But
Oh.
the idea of looking for things that are funny, and then your brain tends to go there, right? It helps to
Mm-hmm.
rewire to look, and it could be something that a grandkid or coworker or a kid says, or just situational funny. It happens all around us, but if you get so focused on all the things that are going wrong, sometimes forget about all the things that are going right and all the things that are actually joyous and fun and funny.
Yes. And we get so much stuff pushed at us that is not fun because
Right.
they know I don't know, have a tendency to click on it. But we've got to cultivate the joy and cultivate the joyful people. Do you think as you get older, you have a tendency to allow yourself to be more childlike?
Yes, I do think that. In fact, I had that conversation not too long ago with someone, and I had a big old birthday a week ago.
Hmm.
And
Happy birthday.
we, yeah, thank you. We were talking about how it is as we get older, it's almost like the child in us comes out again.
Yeah.
And, you know, there's certain phases in life where people feel like they have to prove themselves, like a young person coming out and starting a career or in various ways, but it's sort of like the gift of getting older, a gift of getting wiser.
Sir.
It sort of drops away, that thing of having to prove yourself, and
I
I
think
think
it's
there's
true.
more permission to be
Yeah.
silly and childlike, and what a gift to be childlike. I mean,
What a gift.
yeah.
And I think as performers, we get better the more we allow ourselves to be childlike.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's true.
Yes.
And as humans too, lighten up.
Yeah. And puppets. A
And puppets
childlike puppet.
and dogs too. Childlike
And
dogs.
oh,
Well, we've run out of time, unfortunately, but this has been super fun. So nice meeting all of you. All of you.
Yeah, well,
Every
on
one of
all
you.
their behalf.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I will put links in the show notes to where people can get the comedy journal and also how they can follow you. It's just a
I
pleasure.
can't speak for them.
Yeah. For the other
I
puppets.
can't speak for them. You do all the time, but I do think we've all had fun.
Yeah. Oh my God. So happy to have you. All right. At the end of the show, we dance. We play this fun song. It's short. And we just kind of dance, say thanks to everybody for being here. And thank you for being here too. It's really wonderful. All right. Goodbye, dog. Goodbye, dog. Great to see you. All right, let's get in. Here it is, dance break time.
We're gonna ride till we fall. They say we got no future at all. They wanna keep us out, can't hold us down anymore. Gonna ride till we fall.
When we hit the bottom, nothing's gonna stop us. Climb to the top with you. We could be the greatest ones who ever made it. Yeah, I could be talking you. They're trying to hate, but we won't change anything at all. Oh, we're gonna rise till we fall. They think we just drop out, living at a mom's house. Parents must be so proud, they know it all. They don't speak our language, they say we're too savage. Yeah, no, we don't give up anymore.
All right, thanks everybody. This has been Lunch Therapy with Bonita Joy Yoder. Share it around. Share the good news. There's dog. All right, we'll see y'all later on Lunch Therapy.